Since 1907, the Missouri Valley Conference fought physically on the court, in the field, and on the diamond. The Missouri Valley Conference takes its battle now into the 21st century, as they duel not in the physical field, but in the virtual one, in a massive online battle arena known as Overwatch. The 1-0 UNI Panthers Gold will face off against their Missouri Valley Conference rivals from Peoria, Illinois, the 1-1 Bradley University Rangers. Hello, UNI Panther fans and Overwatch fans alike. My name is Hunter, Bill is in production, and with me in the booth is Joe. How you doing, Joe?
I'm great. What an awesome intro. What a way to kick off the night here. I'm excited for these games.
Yeah, it's going to be so exciting. Of course, Missouri Valley Conference folks that we're going to play up against. I know I'm a big fan of the Missouri Valley Conference just as a general UNI sports fan, but to see it now and being able to broadcast, MVC rivals is just mind-blowing to me. Like I never thought I'd see the day, to be honest.
Well, I'm just going to be 100% honest with you, Hunter. I do not know that much about rivalries and whatnot. So I am a bit miss on that part, but I am still excited for the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The UNI Gold is currently 1-0 as the Bradley Rangers are 1-1. Both teams actually have gotten their win against the University of Wisconsin Green Bay, and both in 3-2 Game 5 fashion. Of course, you're kind of looking, it's like, well, we're in week 3. How come UNI Gold is 1-0 and the Rangers are 1-1? Well, that's easy. UNI Gold had their bye week last week, and in week 1, they ended up taking games 2, 4, and 5 against the Green Bay team, as the Rangers ended up losing against Buena Vista in 0-3 fashion, and then in week 2 defeated Green Bay in games 2, 4, and 5. So that's kind of the setup that we're looking at.
And speaking of setups, who are we looking at for UNI's roster tonight?
We are going to be looking at Accident, Bailey, Moonlit, and that is going to be their team captain, Coonrad. Also on the bench for UNI is going to be Mr. Sirclaps and S-Jet. The UNI Gold team is coached by Starklana and Awake Space. Or Awake Place. My apologies.
I kind of like Awake Space. That's funny.
Yeah, Awake Space. I too want to be awake in space, but I am not. And then looking at this Rangers roster, it is going to be Alan, Aggie, Cat Daddy, Electric Chaos, JJD Games, Olympia 7, and they are coached by Code Worm.
Oh, awesome. I'm seeing Michael Coonrad having that Doomfist icon, and his name is Doomrad. So
Doomrad.
I'm excited to see a little bit of Doomfist tonight. I'll tell you, I've played a little bit since the changes, and I'm not like a super high tier ranked, like Grandmaster player. I think I peaked Plat or something. And I don't know. It seems like everybody doesn't die nearly as fast. It seems like Doomfist is in a really great spot right now. But we're gonna be kicking off things on Control Point on Busan to start. Hunter, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, Busan is a very good map, especially if you're going to play a little bit more divey type, like we see with Doomrad. And of course, we know that Clarkster and Accident play really good hit scan DPS, so I fully expect that as well. I know we'll go into the patch notes here later, but it's going to be interesting how this is going to shake up here in week 3.
Ready for battle.
Yes, for sure. And really quick before this game starts, I do want to take a second and ask anybody who's watching if they want to support Panther Esports organization, they can go ahead and scroll down and click the merch link on the Twitch stream. It'll take you to esportsgear.com/collection/university-of-northern-iowa. There are shirts, jerseys, sweatpants, beanies, stickers, any kind of stuff that you might want to have a gift for the gamer in your life. So If you want to support us, go ahead and do that. And with that, spawn doors are open. We're underway here.
And unfortunately, Doomrad is playing the Ramatra. So trying to play the head games here first off, as we see Clarkster on the May accident, Soldier 76. Bilu is on Moira, and of course Moonlit on that clutch. And I do mean clutch in the real sense, and I'm not just saying it as a filler word. Moonlit on the Mercy.
I wonder if we'll see some clutch reses from this Mercy.
I guarantee you that Moonlit, if I know anything from last year, to be able to have that in her back pocket. But Doomrad already off to the start, able to get that left shift and a double kill off at the top for this Ranger squad. And looks like the Rangers are going to take this first spot as we see Electric Chaos also mirroring the Ramatra. Here comes Doomrad again, picking it up. Accident gets a kill on Electric Chaos, and 10% ticked over for Bradley, but UNI will take it right back.
Yeah, it's really good for UNI to get those early picks in that fight in that small little drop down middle room there. And I like the way that they're pushing up here, being aggressive with the lead that they have. They need to maintain this lead, because if they don't, like this distance they have, it's a lot easier to lose the point. So.
Yeah, and the biggest thing too is first point is always so important. It really sets the tone, especially for this UNI Gold team, that, you know, if they don't want to fight behind, they seem to kind of tense up if they get in that situation. Oh no, as Moonlit gets down, and this Bradley team is going to try and force the hand, but Doomrad able to get the click on Terra Miner. And we're getting a little scrum there on point.
We're gonna see Doomrad's Nemesis, or excuse me, whatever oh my
Annihilation.
Yes, Annihilation. Nemesis is when he presses shift, but the Ramatra ult coming in there to secure the point for UNI. So that's kind of a scary position for UNI to be in. I'm gonna say they know that the Rangers have some ults up, so they have to be careful of that, and they got to watch out for this Hanzo. He keeps getting picked on the backline on UNI, so they just got to be careful here.
Which is really interesting, seeing TTB Aggie playing sort of an off-angle Hanzo. You also don't mind it here, as we see Clarkster using Blizzard on point, able to catch Electric Chaos, and able to get that to no avail here, as Electric Chaos is going to get the Annihilation. But Moonlit, there it is! Clutch res on Doomrad. Here we go, 91%. So this Bradley team needs to play, force the hand on point as soon as they can. Electric Chaos is right there. Switches to Nemesis. Gets some value here in overtime now on the map. Accident using the visor, trying to take it home now with a double kill. JJD Games gets demolished on point as Accident. Nice. 4 kills with the visor to seal the deal on point 1 of Busan.
You love to see it. Really solid hold by UNI there. They played their strengths really well. They pushed up, maintained good distance, and they did not really give much. There was that little fight where the Rangers Electric Chaos used his Ramatra ult. Looked a little bit dicey for UNI there, but Moonlit was able to get that clutch res before they went down. So I think that ended up saving the fight for UNI there. But awesome job.
Yeah, really excited here. Of course, Doomrad playing the Ramatra very well, able to go toe-to-toe with Electric Chaos, and no matter what Electric Chaos tried to do, Doomrad was right there ready for it. It's also going to have to come up to Cat Daddy and Terra Miner. We haven't really seen much solid support play coming from them. Of course, you know, support's kind of playing that back line in that behind the curtain role, but sometimes you need to be in that forefront to really help press your team ahead.
Exactly. And speaking of pressing ahead, UNI are doing that right now, although they do lose the Clarkster and do lose Doomrad in a trade for Cat Day there. So the Rangers are ahead in numbers for this, and they're going to use that and take the point. UNI has to retreat.
Yeah, excellent job by JJD Games, able to, you know, pass through the Ramatra shield, attack the squishies, and that's exactly what you need to do in a Reaper scenario. You're going to build ultimate, you're getting the damage off, and Bradley taking these first ticks on map 2.
And I really need to point out here really quick, the Rangers Hanzo, the the Sonic arrow pointed out where UNI was pushing, and they were ready to meet them, but it doesn't matter. UNI finds the pick on JJD Games, and they find the pick on Electric Chaos. That's 2 down for the Rangers. Is Hanzo going to go down? That's 3 down for the Rangers. UNI should be able to take the point here.
That was an excellent job by UNI, able to start getting the momentum back in their favor. Of course, they got that first initial clutch pick, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. And again, Bradley had to go back, reverse out, and regroup. So hopefully UNI can get 2 team fights in a row.
I think that they're going to be able to. Moira doing her best to keep her team alive here. And yeah, that's something else this patch I wanted to talk about. The new DPS passive. I guess it's a little old patch-wise at this point, but that new DPS passive that cuts healing on everybody can be really frustrating to play with. As we see UNI's Moira, they're out of healing, like they used it all there. But Accident's gonna go ahead and use the visor here. Gonna be looking for a pick on Ranger's backline. He finds the Reaper. Is he gonna find the life, or excuse me, the Sojourn?
Able to pick up the Reaper, and the good old cat daddy himself, Terraminer, slowly falls to the Moira Coalescence, and Doomrad goes ahead and cleans up. So far so good for this UNI Gold team, as 61% takes over for them in their favor.
Yeah, it was a really nice 3-piece by accident at the start there. He started his visor, but realized his tank left his backline behind, so he ran back and started harassing the backline. Really good job.
Yeah, and also it's really difficult too when you're playing so far forward, like we see with Cat Daddy on the Life Weaver. There is some benefit to the left click in the main attack, but you don't really have that ability here. Terraminer is going to use Kitsune Rush, trying to get this Bradley team on point. They get there, but it's contested. Doomrad goes into Nemesis mode, and Blizzard's going to be thrown on point. There it is. There's the Annihilation. I knew he was going to do that one way or another. Moonlit with a res on Clarkster, but TTV Aggie gets the double kill and reverts back out there. Overtime ticked over now. Has now securely been for the Bradley Braves. A late tree comes out for Bradley. I wonder if that's going to play a factor in the next team fight.
Yeah, that was tough for UNI. They were able to put up a good fight there, but losing their tank at the start, right as Mercy was rezzing somebody else, it sucks to be in that position.
But yeah, JD Games is going to have the Reaper ultimate, so that could play a factor too. I almost wonder if you're UNI, if you just kind of want to brawl them up close and personal. You did use the Clarkster ultimate in the Blizzard last team fight, so I know you don't have that, but a wall comes out, and here comes the Reaper ultimate, picks up Bilu, and down goes Doomrad as well. So Bradley starting to make a comeback here late in point 2 of Busan.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for UNI to push that way into the Reaper. It was like inevitable that he was going to be ulting there. But there's still a little bit of time for UNI to touch. Rangers are going to do their best to keep them off the point. Sojourn taking a lot of damage, almost going down. Okay, so Doomrad has switched to Hamster, and he is on the point right now, contesting. Soldier Visor coming out. UNI find the pick on TTV Agio 9. Is he going to find the pick on anyone else here? It's a really important time to find one. Rangers Annihilation comes out on the Ramatra, and the Kiriko ult. A lot of things happening right now. UNI doing their best to hang on, Rangers as well.
Bilu used Coalescence in overtime, didn't find anybody, but kept the UNI Panthers up. Doomrad able to get the pick on Terraminer. Accident gets JJTF. Look at the Blizzard, comes in clutch for this UNI Panther team. 1 by 1 as the Rangers go down. UNI is going to tick this one over and possibly, and they secure it, the first map of the series, Busan.
Super clutch Blizzard coming out there from Clarkster's May. I do not know if they would have been able to take the point without it. They were winning the numbers game at that point, but that hasn't necessarily helped them all the time versus the Rangers here. But really good job.
Yeah, they did a great job. UNI did, able to sustain, and that's going to be one of those things that I want to look for today in today's matchup. Is going to be the support combination of Bilu Moonlit versus Cat Daddy and Terra Miner. Of course, the sustain in this new high HP, scrappy, brawly, longer team fight lasting battles, a lot of that victory is going to lay on the supports. And we saw Moonlit and Bilu play a good portion, especially there in that last team fight, able to sustain and keep their members up. Whereas Cat Daddy and Terra Miner, of course, they use their ultimates, get some value from it, but the amount of resources is just not enough to maintain the team fight.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll tell you, going into game 2 here, if I were you and I think I would be talking right now about how can we support the supports and the tank, because every fight that they lost either Doomrad or they lost one of their supports. So I think if they're going to be going into game 2 here and they're looking to maximize their potential, they got to do their best to keep their supports and their tank alive.
Yeah, that's going to be another thing too, and that's going to be their win condition is just staying alive, playing as a cohesive unit. They did a great job there. I really appreciate the individual effort coming out by JJD Games. The Reaper ultimate there on sort of kind of just the left side of the point where that team engagement was just getting initially started. I would almost see, or what I would like to see is more of his involvement as well as TTV Augie as well.
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's escort next. Yeah. So do you have a favorite escort map? One that you like playing?
For escort, I would prefer to have either Circuit Royale
That's a payload.
or
Escort is the
excuse
one
me.
with the bot. So like what's Coliseo? Uh
Uh, that's
oh,
push.
wait a
Yeah,
minute.
I believe that's
Okay,
push.
so that
Well,
is push.
well, looking at here for the map order for the best of 3, round 2 should be hybrid, is what it says here in the rule book. But I don't know if that's right.
I will
If
just stop
that's
talking because I think I am wrong. My bad.
I don't want to keep talking because I'm probably wrong. But the big thing is that okay, so they are gonna play escort. So you have, and they put the ban on circuit.
Interesting.
So so then now it would be UNI's ban. So they banned Shambali Monastery.
It's a good ban.
So we have the choice of Dorado Havana, Junkertown, Rialto, Route 66, Watchpoint, Gibraltar. And if I was the Rangers, I would probably look for a more brawly map so you can get more utilization out of the JJD Reaper or the TTV Augie Sojourn, because there was a lot of value there, especially with the Sojourn Ultimate.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
who knows?
Yeah, I think okay, so first thing I want to say, I had a thought. I know that Rangers banning Circuit from UNI is a good call by Rangers because both UNI teams seem to do very well on Circuit every time it's up. So I think that's a smart ban. I think the Shambali is a good ban just because that map is really hard, especially if you like push the payload up a certain distance and then your team dies and you have to go and get that payload. Shambali can be really hard, but I would think going into the second game here that they do have to find a little bit more value out. The Raiders have to find a little bit more value out of their DPS, and I think maybe a little bit more value out of their tank. I don't know. They're buying space for the team, but it doesn't seem to be as much as space as Doomrad is. I think Rangers tank has to keep a better eye on what's going on behind them, like um, in that second map where Accident got behind with that soldier ult because Rangers tank pushed so far forward. I think that the Rangers really got to keep an eye on situations like that and do their best to prevent them from happening.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think the issue too is they need to play as a cohesive unit, like you mentioned there, Joe. Electric Chaos had a really good Ramatra. There was a
Yeah.
good sort of kind of like play. There was a nice swap back and forth with Doomrad. In fact, Doomrad lost a handful of those initial engagements. And I also agree that Electric Chaos is playing a little bit separated, a little bit too far forward. And I would almost want to think that, they just need to play as a little bit of a cohesive unit. I feel like they need to have a better communication. Someone has to be shot calling somewhere. And, maybe it also is a case of first game sort of kind of jitters. Maybe that's going to be done for Bradley. Maybe they'll sit into a groove going into this escort Rialto.
Okay. I feel like we haven't seen Rialto in a minute, man.
No, I not in a competitive space, because normally you see Circuit Royale, you see a Junkertown or Route 66. You don't really see any of these other odd maps. Rialto is very controversial in my opinion.
Okay, why?
Okay, so Rialto is controversial based on the fact that once you get to point 3, it is so hard to attack, and the spawn point is so close. I mean, you kind of see that too with Watchpoint Gibraltar, and that's why not a whole lot of people pick Watchpoint Gibraltar. But it's also really hard too that the initial defense, you either get the initial defense here on the higher level points, you utilize the bridge, get some environmental kills, but anywhere in between there, it's kind of a lost cause. Otherwise, you have this corner that Doomrad's walking through. I don't know. There's pros and cons. I'm not a big fan of Rialto.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like one of my favorite maps. I don't like, some people really hate Gibraltar, and I don't have that feeling for this map nor Gibraltar. I don't think I really hate any of the maps. But this map can be a little bit annoying at this beginning part for the attackers. As production's showing, it's literally 2 choke points that are kind of tough to get through if you're getting picked off, if you're taking too much damage. And at both of these choke points, there are chasms, like into the water, you will die. So if there's any kind of like displacement or crowd control that gets in your way, you might end up into the water, and that is it's a kill. It sucks. So it looks
already,
like, yeah, UNI
Bradley is
gonna the water.
Yeah, they're not gonna play that. They're gonna play a little back, and that's actually what they prefer. That's the strategy that they have. Is they're gonna play a little bit brawly with the Mei, with the Doomrad, so we're kind of engaging in this initial choke point. And an interesting switch that we've seen is Moonlit, instead of playing the Mercy, now playing the Ana. So those bio grenades are also going to play a factor here in a tight space.
Yeah, this alley is so cramped and so tiny. We're seeing both Ramatras just smack the crap out of each other on the Mei wall. Rangers Ramatra goes down first, and UNI are going to be up 5-4 in terms of numbers here on this fight. I don't think that there's too much the Rangers can do. And another Mei wall. They're devastating to the Rangers right now. They find another pick on that Reaper.
Yeah, and the one thing that UNI has been doing really good with the Mei Clarkster is that they're limiting the space even more. They're making the sight lines even tighter. And at that point, then Accident can just point Soldier wherever he wants and just left click to win.
Yep, UNI are making it so that the Rangers, if they want to push the cart, they have to experience Ramatra smacking you in the face, sticking you on the ground. They have to experience the Mei freezing you and the wall and the Ana grenade in there. It's just it's a death trap.
Yeah, and we see UNI kind of building that wall with the Ramatra shield and the Mei wall, and it's just impenetrable. As Clarkster over positioned, speeds a little bit, and Electric Chaos bio-grenaded using Annihilation, pushes through TTV Augie, gets the headshot on Accident, and Electric Chaos is running in the backline now of this Panthers. Here comes Doomrad now. He's doing Annihilation with the bio-grenade. He walks in the backline, gets both of the supports off of Bradley. So that was a
free
third
pick
kill now.
Nice play by Doomrad there. picking up the slack. It was a tough position to be in for his team because of the while Doomrad was sitting on his Ramatra ult, which is a good play there. The Hanzo ulted right as Doomrad ulted, so like his team got cut off, but it was good for Doomrad to find those picks, kind of save the fight there.
All right, so a minute 20 now left for this initial push for the Bradley Rangers. They're going to switch it up. They're going to try another space off into the corner. And JJ DTV goes into the backline. Doesn't matter. Doomrad gets the pick. Accident says he has enough of it. Gets the double kill. Looking for a third with the visor, and he gets it.
Will he find a fourth here on the Ana as she's running back to spawn? I think he's going to. Yes, they do. That is devastating for the Rangers because now they have to wait for their entire team to respawn and regroup before they can look for a serious push here. They've only got 40 seconds left, so I think they've only got one last try here. And they have a Reaper ult and Ana ult to work with, and more ult coming up.
And conversely, we have a Clarkster Blizzard, which has been so strong here. As we see it right now, trying to zone it out in the area, pushing through Doomrad. Clarkster goes down. Doomrad using the Nemesis mode, trying to get some value off in the left-hand side. No value from that, but Accident picks up 2, but pays for it. JD Games gets a headshot, and this UNI team might be on the back heel. Doomrad switches to a Nemesis mode, trying to create that space. We're now in overtime. Lifeweaver comes out for Cat Daddy, trying to create more resource and availability. Bilu with the Moira ultimate, able to get a kill in Doomrad. Picks up JJ.
There's Doombrad's annihilation form. He was sitting on it for that entire fight, waiting until the last moment to use it, and he did. He shoves the enemy team off during overtime. Well played, UNI. Game 2.
That was,
It's not over yet, my bad.
It's not quite over yet, but that was a very commanding hold for UNI. Only 48 the distance, and it's gonna come down to whether this Bradley Rangers team is going to get a full hold. They essentially need a full hold, and they're gonna need to use this bridge if they want to maybe think about taking this game.
I don't think that they can approach this point the same way that UNI did, because UNI they literally might just like push the payload up past the
ready for battle.
I'm at a loss for the, it's not a checkpoint, but like where the Rangers push, like as far as they push, UNI could push the payload up that far if the Rangers decide to hold back, and I think that's a really risky decision, but it's also equally as risky to hold forward because the sightlines are kind of tricky for the supports there. But we'll see what the Rangers decide to do, as UNI are going to be running the same comp as last round. The Rangers are going to go ahead and pick up the Torbjorn on JJD Games instead of the Reaper. I think that could be a really solid pick here. The area denial on the Torbjorn ult is pretty massive.
Yeah, the aerial denial, plus you also have the turret, which is an extra DPS. It's kind of like a gnat that's just swarming in your ear.
It applies the heal cut that DPS get too.
Yeah,
so that's
and that's very important, but Accident already able to take down the turret. And UNI has 3 minutes, 45 seconds to push it the distance of 48.68 meters, and they'll take this match 2. Electric Chaos swaps into Nemesis mode, trying to take that space, trying to battle around the corner, but he's pressing S. Sleep! Good night, Doomrad. He's not going to get picked up, though.
The Maywall! Oh, it's not enough to find the pick.
And UNI slowly marching this Bradley team back. Down goes Electric Chaos. Down goes TTV, Aggie, and Cat Daddy. And UNI trying to push this one with under a minute to go, or under a minute gone, and they get it.
Yeah, well played UNI in game 2. That was a really unfortunate position for the Rangers to be in at the start of that second round, because either they hold up and they hold off UNI, or they like lose a player or two, and then UNI runs up and takes the checkpoint, or they hold back and they risk UNI taking the checkpoint there. So it's just a really tough position for the Rangers to be in.
Yeah, the margin of error was very slim, and they just couldn't. They're just not coordinating like they should. Of course, they got that sleep on Doomrad. Everyone on that team should have focused all their effort and resources on taking out Doomrad, because if you take out Doomrad, you basically have an open up backline and squishies in the DPS. So it's sort of kind of one of those things where maybe they're not playing as cohesively, they're not communicating as much. I don't know going into Flashpoint what the keys to success for this Bradley Rangers team is.
Yeah, personally, I don't know how much value they were getting out of the Reaper in that game, especially because I'm talking on the attack for the Rangers, because the Reaper had ult for he had ult for at least 2 of the last pushes, and he just wasn't able to find value with it, especially compared to say UNI's Clarkster May. So we'll see here going into game 3 what changes the Rangers are going to make, and conversely what changes UNI might make or might not make, because what they've been running so far has been working for them. I like the swap out for Ana as opposed to Mercy on UNI. I think that's really smart for that grenade from Ana.
Yeah, the bio grenade is very huge, and I completely agree. Like, that is a very situational set of circumstances, because you have that tight, narrow corridor, and the bio grenade heals allies and then debuffs enemies.
Yeah, so, and it forces the opposing team to either say, look, we're going to have to either like tank out the Ana purple for a couple of seconds, or we're going to have to pick up a Kiriko just to have a cleanse for it. So it's tricky. Ana's a very strong pick, and the sleep is really good too.
Exactly. That's another clutch thing, is just the utility kit that Ana has is so... There's a lot of value that comes from it versus a Mercy, even though you have the res. But Joe, we're heading to Servasa. Also a good thing to note, or a bad thing potentially if you're UNI, Cat Daddy and Electric Chaos swapped. So Cat Daddy is now playing the tank, and Electric Chaos is playing support.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I mean, I don't know how Cat Day is on tank, and I don't know how Electric Chaos is on support, but it could spell trouble for UNI here on Flashpoint. These games on Flashpoint tend to be pretty volatile, so it's still very much possible for the Rangers to make a comeback here and do a little bit of a reverse sweep to save the series, but we'll have to find out. They're going to be running D.Va, Genji, Reaper, Lucio, and Moira for the Rangers. UNI are going to be running the same Ramatra, May, Soldier, Moira, and Ana comp that they've been running.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Absolutely.
But I really like the Bradley swap to the D.Va, Genji, Lucio, because you're essentially playing a theory of dive, and playing against a Doomrad, that's going to be beneficial. If you can get past the shield and harass Accident, Bilu, Moonlit.
I think Moonlit's got a target on their back this game.
I would agree with that. So it's going to come down to her clutch sleeps. Again, I'm just saying clutch with Moonlit because it's clutchlit in my opinion. But okay, so first point in Flashpoint, the centermost point is unlocked, and the advantage is going over to Bradley. They will get the first set of ticks, and the important thing to note about Flashpoint is that the percentages tick up a lot faster than a regular control.
Yeah, the percent, they're already at 50%. UNI have to do something here. Their tank is too low to do anything. They're just trying to survive. They gave Rangers the space at the start to try to make a play, and it didn't work, but it is now as Accident finds a kill on Lucio with the Helix rocket. UNI need to push in.
Yes, they need to go in. They have their numbers. They have the spawn advantage, essentially, and they need to press the attack. Terra Miner and Augie using their ultimates. Big sleep on TTV Augie.
But UNI were not able to find the pick on this Genji, and he's wreaking havoc.
Yeah, he's going in the back line. 71% ticked over now on this first point in Servasa. UNI had a chance to sort of kind of come back from that, but because of the high percentage ticking up of ultimates, Bradley able to get this one.
Yeah, Rangers Moira was able to get their coalescence just a smidge before UNI's Moira, and had a much better angle to use it, and pretty much forced Bilu to just like save the ult or waste it there. And they saved it, and I think that's a good call for this next point. Gives UNI a better position to go ahead and get a better foothold. They are a little bit split up though, as Doomrad is going a different route. UNI has to do a little regroup action.
Yeah, they got to communicate that. They need to first know where the point is going to be next, because they have a choice of 4 now. And it's going to come down to positioning. It's always going to be positioning when it comes to Flashpoint here. And already first a little ticks over. Biotic Grenade on TTV. Augie. Doomrad flips into Nemesis mode. Tries to get the value. Pokes away Cat Daddy. Cat Daddy is going to use self-destruct. Gets no one there. Accident with the visor. Finds the value. Melting away this Bradley Ranger squad. And contested still on point. Cat Daddy's going to try and get the last-ditch effort. Cannot get it. And UNI is going to get this first tick in point 2.
Yeah, UNI need to not hold on the point right now. They need to push up and slow down the Rangers' advance. That is the strat on this mode. You don't hold on the points. But it looks like they don't care, and they're just going to hold right here at this angle. It's a good angle to hold. I think you could push up a little bit further, kind of onto the bridge to the left where production's showing it. It would be better, but Rangers are going to notice this, and they're going to go ahead and rotate through the stairway on point as D.Va getting straight on, and JJD Games using his Reaper ult, not able to find a pick as Dilu picks him off. Cat Day's going to find the pick on Clark, or Doomrad's going to find the pick on Electric Chaos, and D.Va is still in her mech for now. Genji doing his best to see Rangers Coalescence come out as well. No picks yet.
No picks yet, and they're slowly backing away this UNI squad back off. TTV Augie pays for it though. Accident also gets the pick, and again it boils down to the resources that UNI is able to provide. With the new HP buffs, these scrappier fights are taking longer. It's no longer just combo, get the pick, and then team wipe. You have to be able to bend but don't break. UNI started off on that right-hand side. They rotated around, able to kind of fight back against Terra Miner's Coalescence, and able to win that team fight because of a result of being able to position, cycle through, and focus down the enemy target all as once.
Yeah, absolutely. With the bend not break comment you made, UNI are getting crazy value out of this Mei, almost solely because she is able to wall off 1, maybe 2 members of the Rangers and cut them off from healing in any way to survive, and finding those picks with that wall. It is saving UNI, and it's working very well. So we're going to see the D.Va ult come out from the Rangers. Not going to find any picks on UNI. Genji ult coming out from the Rangers. Finds the pick on the Clarkster. Are they going to find a pick on anyone else? It doesn't look like it, as Doomrad finds the triple kill with his Annihilation form.
That's nasty.
That is nasty.
Oh, you didn't give him the ace? Accident.
Oh.
Also, I just realized I've been calling Cat Day Cat Daddy this whole time. Shout out to Vandium. I mean, Cat Daddy can be Cat Daddy, just with the way that they've been playing the D.Va. But again, Doomrad able to show why he is the captain on this UNI Gold team, commanding that tank position.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate push for the Rangers too, because they used the Genji ult and the D.Va bomb, so coming into this next fight, they don't have either of those. They are going to have the Reaper ult pretty soon, as well as the Lucio and Moira ult, but it's going to have to work out. I don't know if it will, as the UNI's Coalescence comes out. There's the Lucio beat from the Rangers. There's the Rangers Coalescence. Nobody's dying yet. It's getting dicey for UNI though, as a big purple comes out onto the Rangers. No picks for UNI. Okay, so Accident fell off somewhere, and Moonlit got killed by the Genji as the Rangers are taking. Doomrad doing his best to stay alive. 1v5 here. Unfortunate he goes down. He stayed alive for a while there.
He did stay alive for a while, and that just, again, telling about just the resources that the UNI team is trying to create and try and, show why they are the better team. Of course, what was pivotal there is the initial pick on Moonlit. Of course, that big bio grenade.
I'm wondering what happened to Accident when he fell off the edge. I don't know what happened.
I know, I was thinking about that too, because no one picked him. He didn't get killed outright. It just, he fell off.
I'm wondering if he was like kiting backwards and actually fell off.
Tactical reset. Annihilation now coming out. Diva Bomb takes down Doomrad, who is in Annihilation. And it matters. 70% tick now for this Bradley team. 1-1 is map 3 on Flashpoint. And UNI is going to have to think about another re-engage.
I don't think that they're gonna. If they want to, Hunter, they have to go now. The point's at 96. They gotta contest. Accident's getting in there to try to contest, but he gets spooked out. Oh man, the Blizzard ult coming straight into the middle of the point, freezing the Diva. She's purpled and frozen, but UNI are not able to find the pick on her.
Doomrad's juiced up.
Yeah, he's juiced up with the Ana ult, but he does end up going down. That's gonna be 2 points for the Rangers.
I'll be honest.
Position.
I didn't really like that engagement, especially initially from Accident. You didn't have your tank. You weren't engaging with 5% left to tick over. And then you committed multiple ultimates. Of course, you did bait out the TTV Augie ultimate of the Dragon Blade, but you used 2 in the process. You used the Moonlit Ana ultimate, and you used Blizzard. I just don't know. It didn't work out in the end. And TTV Aggie is going to get the pick on Accident now. So UNI on the back heel again, and this is point set for this Bradley squad.
I love watching the Maybeam in this third-person camp because it seems so erratic, but I know it's hitting people.
Yeah, and it doesn't actually kill. It does more. It takes longer to slow and longer to actually eliminate players, because and then you have to keep that on them the whole time, and it's not a hit scan weapon, so you kind of have to lead the target a little bit, so you're trying to constantly overcorrect.
Yeah. So I wanted to take a second and just point out, so Accident's push on that last point, I think it could have been good if he went in like 2 seconds later, but the split seconds matter so much in this game. You know, a lot's going on the point right now. Oh man, okay, so
triple kill for Cat Day.
Yeah, Doomrad was in his Annihilation form, and unfortunately at the same time, Diva used her mech and was able to find a triple kill on UNI and a 4th pick on Clarkster there. So I don't know, UNI have a really tricky position to be in. It's looking like a repeat of the last point where they're going to have to go in and touch. Hopefully they do a little bit better job coordinating when they're going to go in and touch so that they don't lose a pick or a player at the start here. So Ranger Coalescence going out at the start. Doomrad coming out with the Nemesis form, but he gets pushed off and is not able to contest in time. Rangers pick up this 3rd map. Is it going to be the reverse sweep? I don't know.
I don't know, Joe, but again, showing now that this Bradley University Rangers able to adapt, and Overwatch is a big game of chess. If you really think about it, they had the switch for Cat Day, playing a very excellent Diva. Of course, we see here on the play of the game is that fat 3-man Diva Bomb, and Doomrad, who normally is the dominant Ramatra player and tank, it so far has been to no use, as Doomrad has been losing a series of these initial engagements.
Yeah, I'm going into game 4 here. They are going to be going on to push. I do need to take a second and say, I think the push game mode is kind of cursed for you and I. I've seen both teams have some pretty tough games on push in the past, but those are past semesters, and this is a new semester with a little bit of a different roster. So we'll see what goes on. These push maps can be really brutal because kind of like the Flashpoint maps, they get a little volatile, but the more important part is if the robot that you push, it gets to a bad part of the map, it can be really hard to come back from that from a loss. Like you have to push it so far, and you end up having to fight off like multiple spawn waves of enemies to push it back to that last point that you pushed. So we'll see what goes on. We'll see if UNI ends up switching any of their supports around. That Lucio pick from the Rangers, I think, got a lot of value, not necessarily for the beats that last game, but for the rotates. On the Flashpoint maps, the rotating factor like is really important because they are they are maze like, and it's not direct routes anywhere, and it's important to be with your team. So having a Lucio on the Flashpoint is really strong. See if they do it again here and push, but I don't know. What are you thinking, Hunter?
Yeah, I completely agree. Cat Day playing the Life Weaver. Life Weaver's not really meta. You can't really get a lot of value from a Life Weaver. So swapping it off, Cat Day, excellent Diva player. We have obviously saw that last map. And Electric Chaos, I also agree. Picking the Lucio and getting the rotation. It's all about position and Flashpoint. It is the most important aspect, in my opinion, because of the percentage ticks up a whole lot faster. You have uneven spawn points. And to kind of think about that going into push, the first one to the robot, the first one to win the team fight has a high chance of actually winning the game outright, because again, if you lose the first team fight, you have to then battle and win 2 more team fights to basically get back into the neutral zone.
Exactly. So we'll see. We'll see if there's any new tank picks. Doomrad's been pretty consistent with the Ramatra tonight. I think Doomfist could be pretty good in push.
Are you subliminally suggesting Doomrad pick Doom?
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing, Joe?
Yes. I think Doomfist feels really strong right now. I'm not like a Doomfist player, but I played him a little bit last night and a couple days ago. And if a person who does not play Doomfist is able to like pick up Doomfist and I don't know, not like roll the game, but just like be able to do a lot, I feel like that's an indicator that Doomfist is in a pretty good spot, and hopefully we see him picked. I think he's entertaining to watch.
I agree. And to your point, Joe, Doomrad playing the Doom can have a lot of value, especially if Electric Chaos and Terraminer pick less mobile supports. Like, again, we've seen the Moira come out. I know they have gelled with a Life Weaver. Life Weaver has some escapability, of course, with the Flower Petal, but you can wreak a lot of havoc in the back line playing a Doom. And if you have a lot of sustain when it comes to support and DPS picks, there can be a lot of value from that. So I agree. I would like to see the Doom, but we'll see.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to be going into New Queen Street for this push game. And I know I said before at the start of the Flashpoint game, I think I said there's no maps, or no, it was when we were talking about Escort. There's no maps I like particularly hate or like really dislike. I actually changed my mind. I remembered New Queen Street was in the game when they picked it, and I really don't like this map. It turns into, because of the way push is with the robot, um, especially I don't know if the stream can see the thumbnail right now, but where the thumbnail is showing, that building is like it ends up, if you're not careful, your team can get like cut in half. There's a bunch of spots on New Queen Street where your team can get cut in half, and it is really frustrating to play push on this map specifically. I would also honorable mention for maps I don't love, Coliseo would also be there, just because it is another map where you have a tendency to get split up from your team and things get really tough. But I don't know how this is going to go for either team. We'll just have
Yeah,
to wait and find out.
I'm personally not a fan of Coliseo just because I lose a lot on Coliseo. I don't know why. And again, part of it has to do with pushing past that. But we are going to be playing New Queen Street. and there are a lot of pros and cons to New Queen Street. And of course, it was one of the initial maps that had push as an option. And love it or hate it, take it or leave it, we're playing it, Joe.
Yeah, so this kind of bend that production's going around now can be really frustrating because some parts of your team will wait on the bend, and maybe sometimes some parts of either team will go through the like weightlifting gym room that is there. And right after that choke point, there's like another one with a window up top, and it can be really, really tough to push. It can also be really tough to defend if the enemies are able to push you off and you do lose some players. They can get into those spots that can make it hard to push. And I don't know. It's this mode, this map. Maybe I don't think it's the mode. I think it's the map just gets to me.
That's fair.
Do you like this map?
I do. Out of all of the push maps, New Queen Street is my favorite, personally. And just because you have a lot more angles to kind of fight off of, you have more... you can utilize, like, tracers and those flanking characters a lot better in this space. You have to literally watch everywhere where you can go, because anywhere you fight can be an initiation of engagement. As we see already with Doomrad and UNI playing on this above space. Normally, folks go through the little entryway and fight there, but they're not. They're engaging from a different angle, and Bradley, with 2 down now, we're not expecting them.
Yeah, no, Doomrad coming in clutch with those 2 kills during his Nemesis form. And Accident finding another pick on the Lucio here. I think, you're right, normally people don't push that high ground, but I think it worked out in UNI's favor because they pushed as 5 and they maintained that group of 5. I didn't call it out at the time, but the Rangers were not super split up, but pretty split up. Like the Genji was up top on the bridge area and Diva was down below. And I don't know, just those little bits of being split up tend to matter a lot, especially once 1 pick goes down and then 2 picks go down. And it turns fights really south.
Doomrad able to get the pick on Augie. An Accident here gets a pick as well, forcing Electric Chaos to beat in the middle of the engagement. And UNI is still going to keep on pushing past, trying to get to that forward spawn advantage.
And they are going to pick up UNI. We didn't mention this, but they do change up their draft a little bit. They've got a Kiriko and a Moira instead of a Moira and an Ana. So it's interesting changes by UNI. Rangers are going to still have the Genji, Reaper, Diva, Lucio, Moira. So we're going to see Rangers Genji Blade come out. It's going to find a pick on Accident. Is it going to find a pick on anybody else? I don't know, but Clarkster's going to come out with a Blizzard here. Oh, man. Oh, that's 4 members for UNI down. So unfortunate for UNI. They do blow that Blizzard there.
The one thing that Bradley has been doing really well is they're cycling through their ultimates a lot better than we have seen in the initial part of the series. Like you saw right there, like of course Electric Chaos used the beat, but then TV Augie initiated with the blade. Then Cat Day gets the pickup in the middle of the chaos with the bomb. And now UNI is going to try and do this here. They use 2 ultimates, Visor and Kitsune Rush. Accident picks up 2. He's going through, trying to get down Cat Day into the true form of Diva. Baby Diva gets no value from that, and go ahead, and UNI is going to push again, trying to get the last tick for forward spawn advantage.
Yeah, when you say that the Rangers have been really good about just kind of using their ults, you're right, but I'll tell you that UNI has been very careful about when somebody ults and who ults there. So when the Rangers retook, they used Diva, Moira, and Genji ults. That's 3 ults down. When UNI retook, they only used the Kiriko ult and the Soldier ult. I think that's really good discipline to not blow everything that they've got. They did try to use that Mei ult to defend, and it didn't work out, but the push worked out better for UNI there. So we're going to see the beat come out from Electric Chaos. Doomrad getting pretty low in this fight here. Is he going to survive? Not sure. He's like what I was saying before. He's been sitting on the Annihilation. He finally pops it. the Rangers use their coalescence and Aggie finds the pick on accident. It's going to be 4 members of UNI to 5 members of the Rangers. Make it 3-5, 2-5 as Doomrad and Moonlit go down as well.
UNI did have, for a short while, that forward spawn advantage. Of course, they'll still get it here, but they're going to be, like you mentioned, Joe, careful with their re-engagement. But Clarkster, he's picked out of nowhere. That's a huge stagger for this Bradley team.
Yeah.
And already, Bradley trying to get that space taken, trying to push it out. Doomrad on the Doomfist. There it is, trying to get the value. Bomb comes out from Cat Day. Able to pick up Bilu, so it gets a backline member. Doomrad does get Cat Day, so okay, we trade tanks, but you're still gonna have to come back with Bilu. The one fortunate thing is that Cat Day has a little bit farther of a spawn than Doomrad.
Yeah, and Cat Day is not as close to their ult as Doomrad, so that's going to be pretty important here. As Clarkster comes in from the mail from behind, forcing the Rangers off the point, finds the pick on JD Games as Accident found the pick on the Lucio there. Really good work by UNI. Doomrad finds some space, trying to punch the D.Va. She is quite elusive, and he's not able to find the punch. He's getting harassed by the Moira. He's like looking around for her.
There's a lot just going on. Of course, you know, that's the big thing when you're playing the Doomrad is you want to create that chaos. You want to play that off sort of kind of frontline confusion and try and dive for the back line, trying to pick people out individually. And now here comes the Blade for TTV Ogden, trying to get the values, go into the back line, and he doesn't get value. He pays for it, and Bilu picks up TTV Ogden. Beat gets no value, Kitsune Rush now, and Visor. We've seen this combo before, trying to press the attack, gets the space. Accident, trying to find someone there, only able to get a few half bars ticked over, and UNI still scrummaging and scrapping on the point.
I'll say Rangers still has this Reaper ult they're hanging on to. They've had it for a couple fights. I don't know if they're telling him not to use it or if he's just looking for the like play the game kind of thing, but it's not working for them. I think they need to use it and swap off the Reaper. I don't know how much value they're getting as his I'm not seeing him in the feed.
Moonlight's gonna use Coalescence, try to sustain without Doomrad as their tanks, trying to push them out. Accident gets the pick up on Electric Chaos through all that chaos. And here comes Cat Day with the bomb. Not the placement that you kind of want as a D.Va player, with a nice May wall coming from Clarkster. And UNI is still going to press the attack. Doomrad's back on the Doomfist, trying to create that space.
This could be a fat Reaper ult, but it's not enough as Doomfist cancels him out of it. Insane play by Doomrad.
And he's just going to use his ultimate to kind of go back, because UNI is going to get 3 taken out. Cat Day on the D.Va. As a D.Va player myself, I just enjoy good D.Va play. You have to be everywhere and anywhere at once. And so far, Cat Day has been doing an excellent job. Of course, defense matrixing, dashing, getting the support where they are needed, and where Electric Chaos and Terra Miner haven't been picking up in the resource department. Cat Day is there with the mitigation.
Yeah, Cat Day has been giving UNI a good run for their money here, as Aggie's gonna be Genji ulting from behind, looking for a pick here. A great Suzu there, saves a life just for a second, but Genji ends up finding the pick anyway.
Now 2:03 left to play in push. Coalescence now come out for Moonlit, try to get the sustain built up, try to keep the robot staying right where it is. And Clarks are able to get a pick up. So again, we're going back and forth here, Joe.
Yeah, it is trade support for support, trade DPS for DPS, maybe trade tank for tank, but it is a tough spot for the Rangers to be in, especially versus this Doomrad. He is very impressive.
Yeah, and UNI could seal the deal if they keep this going for a minute 30. They could take the series, go 3-1. Here comes the Visor now for Accident. Bradley's all on that left-hand side. He's looking for value. He's trying to stay up. and he has to get pushed back. Just the pure offensive pressure that this Bradley Rangers team is giving has been difficult.
Diva bomb.
Doesn't get the value from it, and here comes Doomrad. Did he just negate Cat Day, like recalling the mech? Did that just happen?
I think so. That looked really weird.
Blizzard, please patch. As a Diva player, please patch.
The Reapers in UNI looking to ult. Genji ults right now.
Okay, picks up the value, finds accident, and you know you still get a little value. Maybe you didn't get the full 4-man that we've seen, but TTV Augie able to pick up at least one, and maybe we could be looking at a reverse sweep scenario here, Joe, if they can only push it just a little bit under 70 more meters.
Okay, so we're going to see Clarkster use this Blizzard, force Rangers to either run or get frozen as they lose the Reaper and the Lucio and the Moira and the Diva mech, and the Diva. So now it was just going to be Genji there. And unfortunately, he can't do anything versus 5 members of UNI, and that's going to be the series for UNI.
Wow, UNI able to seal the deal there, and I think the big thing, at least my takeaway from this one, is UNI's ability to communicate, play cohesively as a team. Of course, individually, like TTV Augie and Cat Day when they played the Diva, and just individual efforts were very helpful, but I think the cohesive nature of this UNI team, coordinating ultimates, attacking when they needed to, attacked who they needed to, and they were able to get the win of the series at the end of the day because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you want to do a post-game interview here? Or
I would love to do a post-game interview if possible.
Was there anybody specific you were thinking of?
Let's see. I really liked Moonlit. Moonlit did a good job. Of course, I could always do a Doomrad interview. He was very much the rock in this.
I think Clarkster was the rock this series. He went
really?
May. Yeah, he was May almost every single game.
That is true. Clarkster did have some clutch picks and blizzards, so I will admit that. I think that, but he played. Oh man, this is really difficult for me. I see where you're coming from. I see it. I really do. But I want to counter, and I want to say, like, my vote for player of the game is Doomrad.
Well, let's get him in here then.
Oh, okay. All right. Can we do that, Bill? Can we get Doomrad in here? Well, so let's go ahead and sort of kind of unpack that. Map 1 control, Busan, UNI takes it 2-0. Sort of kind of set the tone. Able to come out heavy with the Ramatra. Of course, at that point there, Electric Chaos was playing the Ramatra counter. Didn't get no value from that. Cat Day was playing the Lifeweaver. And I think that was the main thing that we saw in the first 2 maps, is that for me personally, I don't feel like the supports were as, they weren't as helpful in the first couple maps there for Bradley. What was your initial thought on Busan?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought Busan was good. I feel like UNI did a really good job, especially that very first round. I'm interested, you mentioned during that game, or right after, it was some first game jitters. We don't really talk about the first game jitters that often, but I feel like they might come up more often than we even consider. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's a tone setter. UNI has the games that they have won with I believe. Oh, I guess they didn't win map 1 in their initial engagement with Green Bay, but they did come back. They settled in game 2. So I guess for me, in a best of 5 scenario, game 1 does matter. You kind of set the tone, you kind of feel out your enemy team. And then the big thing is, game 2, okay, what's the changes that we needed to do? I almost would be curious to see if we would be talking about a different series if we had that initial swap from Electric Chaos and Cat Day to begin with, like immediately in Rialto. I wonder if that would have played different.
I don't know. But I don't know because the myth, the legend, Michael Coonrad is ready for the interview. So let's bring him in and hear what they have to say.
Yeah, really excited. So, Mr. Doomrad, Mr. Coonrad, captain of the UNI Gold team, UNI Gold able to win it 3-1. First off, give me your thoughts on the series, the matchup. What was the initial thoughts?
We were just going in, trying to play brawl, and it just ended up working. I wasn't sure what they were gonna play. I saw one of them was like a Doom player. I was like, oh, Doom, but they ran out on Diva on Flashpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What I'm curious, what made you wait so long to bust out the Doom?
We were mostly doing brawl the whole game, really. I guess at some point I think they just kind of got it figured out, so I just swapped to the Doom to get a little bit more mobility.
Yeah, we saw initially in that Busan map, you kind of played the Ramatra. You kind of lost a couple fights, especially there on map 2. But what was sort of kind of like either your game plan or the team's game plan to kind of come back and win in that second half of Busan?
I think we just calling out targets. I think we had some like really big May walls that really saved us a lot.
I'm curious. What were you guys thinking what were you thinking first, and then what was kind of the team thinking coming out of game 3 on uh Servasa? Yeah, Servasa. What were you guys? What was the attitude? What was the thoughts?
I think we were pretty we were fine. I think Flashpoint just isn't our mode for gold or purple. Something we need to work on. So we didn't really take it too hard.
So also on that note, we saw Cat Day and Electric Chaos kind of swap. So you were playing against another player who was playing a completely different tank. How did you adapt in that Servasa matchup?
I just tried to play back a little bit to see how they would play. They didn't really dive a ton with Diva. It was mostly their Genji that would uh dive us really.
All right.
I guess kind of the last question I have is I like to ask this sometimes for yourself because it's kind of weird talking about your teammates this way. But what are some things you think you did well this series, and what are some things that you think you did not do so well this series?
I think did well. Just knowing when to back out. Um, yeah, I don't think I died a ton. Improve on maybe trying to call ults a little bit better. There were points where I think we ended maps with ults still not used, so maybe trying to call that better.
You did do a very good job surviving, particularly that Doomfist game. You had a pretty clutch escape with your ult at one point. I was not
Yeah.
sure where you were going, but I hadn't realized your team had died, and I was like, oh, that was really good. So nice work tonight.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they were about to die either. So I was gonna use it, and then I was like, oh, time to get out, I guess.
Okay. So We always ask. Of course, we're done grilling you on the real questions. Unless Joe, do you have any more?
No, I don't have
Question?
any more.
All right. So we will now ask the fun, haha, silly question that I take personally very seriously. And my question is, what temperature do you prefer your water?
Honestly, it depends. There have been times where I like warm water. Usually probably just room temp.
Room temp? Is that just coming as like you're just a lover of water and you'll have it either way? Or I'm kind of curious as a follow-up question, what scenario is good for warm water?
Probably just I think usually what I would do is I just go through like a coffee maker, just get the water straight from that without a pot or anything.
And you just straight up drink hot water?
Sometimes. It's been a while. I don't have a coffee maker anymore.
That's fair. That's honestly fair. Joe, do you have a water temperature preference?
I like my water cold.
Cold? You're a cold water kind of guy?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to split the difference between you two, and I like room temp water. I think cold is too cold on my teeth, and I don't like hot beverages, so all right. Well, thank you for joining us, Coonrad. Obviously, we got to see you on the Doomrad. I like the name change. That's very fun, but congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice work tonight. The whole team, nice work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I'm sure they're watching all right now.
All right. Any final thoughts, shout outs, anything like that, Joe?
Yeah, if you guys enjoyed the stream tonight and you want to see more, we got more coming tomorrow night. I think we have League of Legends at 7 o'clock. It's a rescheduled game from yesterday. So if you want to watch that, come back tomorrow and check it out. I'll be casting. If you guys want to support Panther Esports, you can scroll down on your Twitch page and click the merch link. That'll bring you to esportsgear.com/collection/university-of-northern-iowa. There are jerseys, shirts, sweatpants, sweatshirts, beanies, all that good stuff. You know. Oh yeah, we also have Rocket League tomorrow. Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna mention that in my outro if you didn't there, Joe. Since you'll be out there casting League of Legends, I will be here, and we will cast Rocket League. The Rocket League team is going to play at, I believe, 7 o'clock. So we will have two streams. So if you can catch UNI Panther Esports 1 and 2 tomorrow. So get it's time to break out the two monitors if you got it and have both streams up at once, and you can hear Joe on the League of Legends and me on the Rocket League. Also looking forward to UNI Gold facing off Co-College next week. Of course, a corridor rivalry that's very close and historic, in my opinion. I remember playing Co-College a long time, and that has been a series matchup. Bradley will go on and face off Concordia next week for their Bradley Rangers squad. And Purple team next week will be looking at a doubleheader. They will play Tuesday against Northwestern, and then they will play Thursday against Eutectics. So exciting matches coming up tomorrow. And in the future, UNI wins 3-1. Any final thoughts, Joe, about the series?
No, thanks for coming and watching, everybody.
All right. For Bill in production, for Joe in the booth, another Missouri Valley Conference rival taken down. UNI Gold wins 3-1. We'll see you next week.
For the losers bracket, but I have high hopes for these guys. Colin goes to the backboard, double touch, and he gets it. he's got side and a good pick. Another good pick. And another. He's going crazy with it.
Oh! That was disgusting.